what I dubbed as my most anticipated album of 2025 in my anticipated albums list video, FKA Twigs' Eusexua is finally here. We've had some really excellent singles being teased along the way, making this album to be, built up to be a potential absolute banger of an album, with how good these songs have been. And of course, upon release, it's gotten rave reviews. People have absolutely adored it. I've been super hyped to check it out, and we're finally here to give you guys a review. Hopefully you've been looking forward to this one, because it's been one I've been looking forward to doing as well. With those singles, you got some fantastic videos to go along with them as well. I would never say an artist is purely only for visual aesthetic or only, good to watch whilst listening to the music. I would never say that, but I think FKA Twigs puts forward a great argument as to making sure you do always check out the video alongside the music as well, because there's always something really eerie and strange and mystical and odd and off kilter, and there's always some incredible choreography to go along with it. Like, FKA Twigs is an artist that I would implore you to make sure you do watch the videos, because in an era where music videos seem to have kind of slidden a little bit further down, less important, not really that exciting anymore, FKA Twigs is always bringing that with her art. So make sure you do watch those videos if you are already such a fan, because you're missing out if you haven't. But of course, this review isn't about those videos. Eusexua was a really great lead single, a track that just has this aura to it. It has such a unique vibe. It casts this strange sense of weirdness across the track. It's just such a strange atmosphere that only FKA Twigs could truly conjure up. It's elusive, it's mysterious, it has this really beautifully incorporated trance build-up that happens as the song goes along. Honestly, yeah, trance is very much the vibe and the style that's being thrown around across this album. It's such a cool way to see it come back in like this kind of fresh take on it. It's like kind of like an otherworldly approach to making trance music. But of course, again, you could always say that about FKA Twigs with everything she does. She always has an otherworldly approach to whatever she's touching. It could be pop, it could be R&B, trance, as I've just said there. It doesn't matter what it is. She's always putting her own spin on it and making it sound completely unique. I think Perfect Stranger does fit that as well, without it being like that trance inspired track. It does have this really odd and bustling rhythm to it, which I absolutely love. I think it sounds great. And then when you get to 2:47 on the song, like, it amps up even further and just comes to life, and it sounds fantastic. Honestly, I wouldn't mind that extended outro existing somewhere. Like, I could hear that for a lot longer than it goes on for, but it does sound great. Love this kind of bubbly rhythm that she's got going on here. The lyrics are really odd, kind of just looking for somebody that doesn't have any kind of ties to her in any particular way, and that would be perfect for her. Very odd lyrics, but again, FKA Twigs kind of pulls it off in her weird nature and what she does. I actually thought this was more enjoyable, I guess you could say, than Eusexua, the lead single. I put this on my favourite tracks of last year list over Eusexua. Not to say I don't like Eusexua, but I just think I like it a little bit more. So yeah, for me personally, this still remains a highlight on the album. Along with the trance vibes, you've got freaking 90s down-tempo trip hop bustling through on Girl Feels Good. I mean, this track has got a very sensual feeling to it, where she's talking about, if this girl sticks around, it's because this girl feels good and all this kind of stuff. Really sensual in its nature. But yeah, that beat kind of like pulling from maybe something like, I don't know, a Madonna would do, that kind of like U-turn that she did on Ray of Light. But of course, there were lots of other 90s down-tempo artists as well that you can clearly feel that FKA Twigs is very much inspired by. It was very much a British movement, and sometimes I think it's easy to forget that FKA Twigs is in fact from the UK, so it wouldn't surprise me at all to have that influence coming through. Let's not also forget to mention Corliss, the Welsh artist. Love to see Corliss getting love. I think I did a video on Corliss back when that album came out in like 2021. Was it Agor? That was a really good album. I'm sure I did a video on it. You could maybe check that one out. But love to see Corliss landing on an FKA Twigs album. How cool is that? But the combination of sounds here is absolutely wild. I mean, that really off-kilter, jaunty, pounding beat you know, pummeling the track. Sounds really fantastic. I will say it was such an eye-catching moment to pick it out in the Eusexua video, that listening to the entire song, I don't think it quite brings that energy that I think I initially felt when I heard it in that video, or that spark. But I still think it's very good. You know what I mean? Like, it's still a good song, but yeah, maybe got that kind of I don't know what it was. It was just like pure, like endorphins or whatever, just bursting when I first heard it. It was like, oh. But yeah, I still think it sounds good in the context of the album, but maybe not quite as exciting, but just still cool to see Chorus on it anyway. Childlike Things, I guess, sure, why not? What is this? I don't friggin' know. You got Northwest coming through singing in Japanese for some reason, and then yeah, I get cool, right? Sure, whatever. It's a really goofy, silly song. I guess that's the point. I think that's entirely the point of it. So I guess calling it goofy is kind of just like, you know, saying it as it is, not really adding any commentary by saying that. But yeah, I think that's the thing that's going to put people off, though. I think some people found this one a little too silly, a little too odd, a little too out there. Even for FKA Twigs to throw this on her album feels out of place. But I'm not going to lie to you guys, I kind of like this one. I saw a lot of hate for it initially, saw a lot of people really not like this. But I kind of have a weird soft spot for it. I don't mind this one, and I don't necessarily feel bad for it. I don't feel bad. I feel okay about liking this one, guys. I feel okay. I get the argument, and I guess that argument is a good one, to say that it doesn't really fit the album. That's not really a bad comment to make, but I still kind of like it for what it is. It's kind of got like a Santigold vibe to it, and then if you mashed up a Santigold song with a Tune Yard song. Do you remember Tune Yards? I don't think you do. You probably don't, but Tune Yards, they were this really zany, wacky group from the early 2010s that very clearly pulled from like African music, but they were these like white people from America. Probably not okay, but the sound that they were able to conjure up with what they did was really odd and weird and zany, like I just said. So combining that with Santigold, I feel like you get this Childlike Things song. I don't know how we got here, but yeah, sure. At least Twigs is willing to continue to push boundaries in the weirdest ways with a song like this. I know this one's going to rub people the wrong way, but let's not, you know, forget here. I haven't spent the entire video or review here talking about Björk, because I know a lot of FKA Twigs fans get really annoyed. And I get it. If you were to just completely dismiss Twigs and be like, she's just a Björk wannabe, I'd get that. But I don't think a lot of her fans do that. I think a lot of people just make little comparisons and draw and pull little bits and bobs here for the, you know, the Björk isms, and just kind of point them out. I don't think anyone is really going as far to say that, you know, she's an entire Björk wannabe. If there is anybody out there, fair enough. And those people are obviously being a bit too facetious, being really dismissive of what Twigs is trying to do, and I'm not here to do that. But I have to say that Room of Fools, I mean, come on, man, this is so Björk. Like this, I don't even think there's ever been a point where I felt like any Twigs song sounded particularly like a Björk song until this one. This one is just so debut era Björk. Some of the vocalisms that she has, like the way she says fools, the way she says together, like that is so Björk to me. And yeah, the beat got that kind of like, again, kind of like ambient feeling house, I guess, or that ambient techno feel maybe that Björk was doing back on an album like Debut. I really like this track. I think it works really well for her. But yeah, it's just an interesting inspiration point to see, and really cool as a general point for this review, that there's so much like electronic music worship across this entire album. You know, those classic sounds of downtempo, those classic sounds of house are coming through, like the really glitchy, odd, quirky sounds coming out of this album, the trance. Like, this is very much FKA Twigs pushing the electronic sound even further than she really ever has, because it's been there before, but not like this, and I like to hear that. I just wish it completely stuck the landing for me the whole way through. Two tracks for me that don't really stand out, Sticky and 24-Hour Dog. I don't know, man, these tracks just don't have like an enamoring soundscape. Like, they sound they sound nice, but I don't know, something isn't clicking for me, something isn't sticking, like for a better word I suppose to say. But yeah, something isn't quite there for me with these two tracks. And the annoying thing about Sticky particularly is that the last 20 seconds has this really weird glitched out madness where everything just sounds like it's about to explode on you, and like it's only for 20 seconds. I just don't know why the whole song wasn't built around this beat. I think it would have been really cool, or to at least hear it a bit more on the song. Or if not just this song, this album. Like some of these glitchy sounds just kind of pop up for like a short period of time. And I just wish more of the songs had it, because it clearly is there, but she just kind of throws it at the end of the song and that's it. It's a bit of a disappointment for me personally. And 24 Hour Dog, I don't know, man, just like sometimes Twigs can be one, like she attempts to be sensual, but saying like I'm a dog for you over and over just doesn't really do it. I don't know, I just think that line's a bit cringy, and I think she tends to pull off that kind of vibe, but on this particular track I just don't think it was there. I do think the adventurous feel of Striptease is cool, but I don't know, something about that song isn't fully landing with me. I think it's some of the vocals that she throws out that don't quite work for me on that song. So yeah, there are lots of good things about this album. There are some slightly weaker moments for me. I think Wanderlust is a pretty way to close it. But yeah, there was just something about it that felt like the potential wasn't fully fulfilled in the way that we were led to believe with some of these tracks leading up to it. And some of the excellent deeper cuts on the album too. Like there is really some high highs on here. But I don't know, I don't think it's fully sticking the landing the whole way through for me. I have seen some other people say this, so I don't feel entirely alone, but I know some people aren't quite as like absolutely head over heels to this album as they expected to be. Maybe it was just that huge amount of hype going into it that it just couldn't quite deliver. But there are some really cool ideas that she's really exploring on this album in such a new and fresh way that you can't really take it away from her. And I have this weird feeling that by the end of the year it could be one of those that grows on me, and you do see it on my year-end list, as that does tend to happen every year with like maybe 4 or 5 albums, maybe less than that. But yeah, even still, it's around that number. And I just feel like FKA Twigs could give me an album here that I could maybe sit with even longer and absolutely fall in love with. But for now, I do like it a lot. But I'm going to go 7 out of 10. I think a 7 out of 10 is fair. I think it's still, you know, a very good album, a very good score regardless. It just, something about it, man, it's not quite sticking with me, and I can't put my finger on it. Can't quite place what it is. But that's it from me. Hopefully you've enjoyed this review. Hopefully you've understood my perspective and seen where I'm coming from. Hopefully you are sticking around for more videos as well. Check out more videos on the channel, check out more reviews, and yeah, let me know what I should review next. Should I do a top 10 FKA Twigs songs video? I feel like that would be pretty cool. If you want to see that, let me know in the comments. Let me know your thoughts on this album, your thoughts on my opinion. Did I say anything that you want to get absolutely angry about? Have a good day. Sorry about the lighting, it's gotten a little bit dark, but hopefully it still looks okay. Subscribe, check out my Patreon if you're feeling very generous as well. Goodbye.